Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be taking a look at a series between Acer's Nerchio and Tarson. This is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, Tarson versus Nerchio here on GSL's Daybreak. Starting in the lower left-hand spawn position, we have got our blue Zerg player, Nerchio. Let's get some recent tournament information on him. Recently took 3rd place at the Twitch TV European Invitational, also took 1st place at the Scan Invitational #2. His opponent over here in the upper right hand position is Tarson, our red Terran player. Took 2nd place at the Spirit Land 9 and 3rd place at the ESL Pro Series Poland Season #3. Alright, so that is the most recent tournament information for both of these players. Again, this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, Tarson versus Nerchio. And starting things out, well, nothing much going on here. Tarson starting off the wall off up here. We will keep an eye on his gas when and if that comes. If he is going to be going for kind of a standard style play, then we'll, what is going on? This is not a normal position here. Obviously, take a look at this wide opening. The fact that he is going for a wall off down here is very interesting. Now, his initial racks placement in this position, what does this mean? Well, it means a couple things. Early aggression is going to be more effective than if his racks were up here, because if his racks were here, the Marines would have to travel this extra distance to make their way to the opponent's base. So this is a little closer. Marines pop out, and they're going to be closer here to the natural expansion if aggression does come. Also, a scouting drone moves up here, and he may not see that down there. So he might move into the main and not see the racks at all. Let's take a look. So we're gonna take a look here as he's making his way on through. And look at that. Does not spot it. So he didn't spot the rack, so he's gonna move into the main and he's gonna say, hey, what's going on here? I don't see a racks. He also spots no gas. Now he's assuming and not seeing a racks and seeing no gas that there's either an expansion coming down, which there is not, or that there's a proxy rack somewhere. And there you go. Moves on down, spots the racks. Now he knows. Now he might still be concerned as well about a second racks being built somewhere else, although not that likely because he did spot the second depot. If there was a second racks, that second depot probably wouldn't have been finished in the time that it was. But not going to hurt for him to move around and check. But nevertheless, the Marines going to be able to be aggressive if he decides to do so. Now he's moving forward with his SCV. You can see Nerchio is aware of that possibility and will be chasing the SCV there with his drones, trying to make sure that no bunker comes down. Aggression is not really going to be taking place, at least not what we expected. Lifting off a racks, he was hoping that an Overlord was spotted in this position. You can see Nerchio worried about the Marines moving around there. Deciding to pull his Overlord here into a safer position. That is a very popular spot for an Overlord, so it was pretty wise of Tarson to check there with that racks. Obviously that delays some of his Marine production, however, as a result. Tarson is coming out with that expansion now, also coming up with his gas. Back over here we can see total of 4 lings in play, 2 queens coming out. One at both the main and the natural expansion. Spawning pool is up, not enough gas quite yet, and there we go, now has enough for metabolic boost, so starting that immediately. And the first 4 Zerglings making their way across the map. 2 Marines will be forced back here. We got a bunker coming out for Tarson. Tarson will have to eventually get a full wall off here, or at least something close to a wall off. For threat of spieling aggression is going to be certainly a concern for him. 3 Marines, more than enough to deal with 4 lings. Take out 1 ling, do some damage to another. And already Nerchio realizes that is nothing that I'm willing to engage. Decides to pull all the way back. Marines feeling brave now, pushing out. Feel like, hey, I can take those 3 lings, no problemo. Back over here, Nerchio is in fact droning up. He's got no more lings in production. Metabolic boost just about halfway finished at the moment. Pulled all of his guys off the gas, now focusing on gathering just minerals, allowing him to drone up pretty hard. Might see a 3rd queen as well, just to spread some creep and get ready for another expansion. Certainly a possibility, not guaranteed though. Nerchio now moving up here with his Overlord. So you can see this is what Tarson checked for last time, as he had a Marine here and a Marine here, and he floated the racks up to gain vision of the high ground to try to spot that Overlord, but wasn't able to do it as he wasn't in that position at that point in time. And there you go, Tarson is in fact working out that wall off. We got another expansion coming through. Now this isn't necessarily an expansion immediately though. What is more likely is he'll be using this, turning into an orbital command, and then using the mule and the extra SCV production to saturate the main and the natural. He only has 1 refinery up and mining. We will be seeing some Hellions coming to play. Spielings sneaking by. Oh boy. This is not good at all. Now it's not going to do a ton of damage. Might kill off a few SCVs, but the problem is that he got some scouting intel here. Take a look. That's not what I wanted to look at all. Take a look at his full vision. Oh, he didn't scout the expansion building. Oh, wow. I'm surprised, actually, that he did not scout that. All right. So a few racks coming through. He did a little bit of damage, killing off a total of 3 workers. We got Hellions now prepared to move out across the map. And some more Hellions. No, those are some Marines. Some more Hellions, though, just about to finish. So first 2 Hellions going to pull forward. Now this is going to be a scout that Nerchio cannot deny. Scout moves down. Checks the expansion. Just going to sit there for now, try to do a little bit of damage until some actual threatening units pull on down to deal with this. Now we got a bunch of roaches popping out. Roaches will certainly take care of the Hellions. But it's going to be able to do a little bit of damage. Not much, though. Hellions are pretty terrible against buildings. And there you go, pulling back. As soon as he spots the roach, he realizes, yeah, no point in sitting to engage that. I will just lose my Hellions and probably not even kill a single roach. So it's time to leave. More Hellions joining the fun. Total of 6 now in play. 2 more coming. Now, the fact that he is continuing to mass up these Hellions here with the Marauder. Okay, we got a push coming. It is going to be Marauder Hellion here. He's also got stim pack research coming through. It's going to be a pretty hefty push. Could do a lot of damage. And prior to that, we may also see just a Hellion run by to try to do some significant economic damage. But look, oh my gosh, get some Hellions in there. So much damage. Great possibilities there for those Hellions. But he could also wait. Now, this Hellion Marauder push is pretty effective. And I wouldn't say it's the most common build, but I've seen it quite a few times. It isn't certainly, I wouldn't call it standard, not standard play by any means, but you know, it is a popular tactic, and you do see it every once in a while. And as the orbital command is making its way down to the 3rd, as he's already saturated the main and the natural, he spots the Overlord. It's going to cause him to push back with those Marines to take care of it. And unless he moves down with those roaches, which he is now, to try to defend that Overlord. And also try to get a few free Marine kills. Now, why Hellion Marauder? What's the point? Well, the Hellions take care of the Speedlings and the possibility of Banelings, and the Marauders take care of the Roaches. That's the idea. But my concern now, though, is that if Tarson doesn't push soon, which he needs to, he should probably be leaving about now, and there you go. You can see that Spire is coming through. So, obviously, this push sounds phenomenal, but the danger... Mutas, hello. That's a huge problem for Hellion Marauder because there's nothing to deal with it. He would have a few Marines, and just a few at that. He's only got 2 there with the main army. One of them sitting at the tower at the moment. Certainly a potent push, though, and it needs to go right now. Now, we got some Speedlings coming out for a counterattack. He's going to do a bit of damage over here. Get a full surround there, do as much damage, cover as much surface area as possible, do as much damage as he can. Marauder's now moving up there. Here comes the continuation of that push. Now, he's got a great opportunity to just drop this expansion, but that Spire just about finished. We're going to see Mutas in production immediately after. There needs to be a transition right now into either Thors or a bunch of Marines, because once those Mutas hit the board, it's going to be a problem. But he's going to do a significant damage. In the meantime, he still hasn't stimmed up. He's waiting for those Roaches to engage, and there it is. Roaches engaged. There goes the stim. Hellions trying to assist, even though they are terrible against the Roaches, just trying to provide a little bit of extra damage. Also provide a little bit of a distraction there for the Roaches. If the Roaches attack the Hellions instead of the Marauders, that is great for Tarson. And there you go. Tears through all those forces now. 11 Mutas just about to come on through. And as much damage as Tarson has just done, he's going to take a lot in just a moment. Speedlings forcing the liftoff over there. So look at that. You can see a ton of damage dealt by Tarson, but he's about to lose all of this. The only thing he can really get away is maybe a few Hellions. All those Marauders are dead, though, in the center of the map. The Speedlings still dancing around. How much damage did he do total? He did a fair amount of damage. Killed off a total of 5 workers. But still, he took much more damage. But again, you can see that is going back now towards Nerchio's favor, as he's able to pick off all these units in the center of the map. The transition is into Marine Tank. Does he have enough Marines right now to deal with these Mutas, though? That's the question. He's got a bunch of turrets, which are going to help a lot. 1 turret down. He loses a Muta as a result. Stimmed up Marines doing a bunch of damage. Oh, they're so effective against Mutas. Stimmed up Marines. However, works through the rest of them now. There's hardly any anti-air, and the Mutas are free to wreak havoc over here. We got a few more Speedlings still doing damage and delaying the expansion. Tarson unable to get up his 3rd from that small group of Zerglings that were here prior. And now the reinforcement Zerglings are there, going to continue to deny that. Some SCVs remote mining. Muta's still doing damage. No counter response at all. He keeps losing medevacs. That is awful. You can see right now it's actually in Nerchio's favor at this point. He went from being significantly behind to getting out those Mutas, mopping up pretty much everything in the center of the map, and then this counterattack. I mean, this is just unbelievable. He's still in the main base, doing tremendous amounts of damage. He's going to be killing off some SCVs now. Uh-oh, here comes some Vikings. Not the greatest, as you can see. But that, with the support of Marines, certainly helps a bit. He's just wreaking havoc, though. This is unbelievable. This small amount of Mutas doing so much damage. 16 workers killed now. Take a look at the resources lost. Still about even. But you know what? That is fine. As far as I'm concerned, Nerchio going from I believe he was 1,000 or 2,000 resources behind when that engagement hit, and he lost all his roaches plus that expansion. But now he's ahead. It's just unreal how effective this counterattack here was for Nerchio. One of the biggest things too, stopped this third from going up and running, and he's just gonna double and triple check that to make sure it's not there, and there you go. Expansion's not down, so you're just going to chill out over here, try to continue to delay this as Tarson, his biggest anti-air are in these turrets. He spent so many resources in this turrets, he doesn't have mobile anti-air, not much at least. He's got 6 Marines and 2 Vikings. So with that, these Mutas, if they just avoid the main, they can continue to try to delay this expansion and harass. You can see them harassing over here, doing damage to the expansion. Vikings easy kills if he decides to pull forward and engage. Just need to be careful about walking into the extra Marine fiber. He drops it! Oh my gosh, Nerchio, man. Oh man. Look at that now. Again, keep in mind he was, I don't remember the exact, but I believe it was 1,000 to 2,000 resources behind when this Hellion Marauder push took out the expansion and killed off most of his roaches. Those Mutas, man. Ah, so effective. Good job on Nerchio. Now he's going to be transferring over some workers. Looks like this expansion is about finished. This one too. So he's going to have a 4th and a 5th mining base running. His main has still got, he could probably afford to pull a few drones off this line here, as he's a little bit more saturated than he needs to be given how low the resources are here. But Tarson's in a bind, I gotta tell you. This is a very hard situation now because he had so few anti-air units here. As a result of him investing so much in the Marauder Hellion push, he has to invest a ton of resources in these turrets, which are static defenses. This doesn't give him a mobile army. This means he's gonna be forced to stay in his base longer now. And with this continuous harass here from the Mutas of Nerchio, it's going to be more and more of a problem. He's going straight for the Engineer Bay, trying to stop those upgrades. Repair plus stimmed up Marines will prevent that from happening. We get a bunch of Speedlings out. Let's take a look at upgrades. Nothing there for the ground forces, but 1-1 is coming out. Weapons level 1 finished for those Mutas. Weapons level 2 are coming out as well. We get an infestation put as well as a ton of Lings. Lings going to push towards this expansion. As we can see, Tarson hasn't even bothered to try to reland that. He's got to finish this command center first. But man, Nerchio is going to continue to delay this as much as humanly possible. I do wish we had burrow research complete. Would love to see a burrow Ling over there. Not going to happen though. Unless we see that burrow research come on through, which again it's not. Oh, Banelings. Hello, 28 Banelings coming through. 14 Lings, 12 Lings now in production. A few more Mutas. Oh boy, Nerchio preparing to hit. He honestly though, he could just chill back here and just continue to delay this third, and I don't see him losing at this point. I mean, he's got a pretty strong advantage. We take a look at the income as well, but here comes the push right now. Speedlings and a Banelings moving up from over there. We got a few Speedlings moving from the other direction. Muta's trying to engage as well. Lots of Banelings got destroyed there by that splash damage from those tanks. And now there are actually a few Marines as well as those tanks alive, but he's still going to delay this expansion. And let's take a look at, yeah, the resources lost are actually about even. Turns out that that engagement wasn't in Nerchio's favor, but he really thinned up the forces here of Tarson. I don't know why Tarson thinks he's confident to push out now, because I guess he just doesn't know about how many, yeah, he does not even know about that 4th and the 5th. He just does not know how much larva and how many resources right now that Nerchio has. We take a look at the income tab, you can see that significant advantage now. Tarson has finally been able to land this expansion, but he's just now saturating that. He's still tremendously behind terms of income. Something being said, I don't know, but if you could translate below, that would be fantastic. I would greatly appreciate that. Tons of Speedlings and Banelings though. Tarson, I don't know, man. I mean, he's ahead right now in army supply, but I don't see him winning. It's really unfortunate there for Tarson because he had such an effective push, but it's risky, and you saw why. You saw exactly why it's risky. Now Tarson will be trying to move out and do some economic damage of his own. Gotta watch out for those Banelings. Tanks are not sieged up. That's a problem. Marines stimming back. Loses one tank. Continues to push forward. And the Banelings just obliterating here. Banelings continue to roll. He's got more and more Banelings coming. Thor gets dropped. And he gets magic boxed by the Mutas. More Banelings rolling out. And oh, goodbye Marines. We got Marine reinforcements coming through. That should be enough to force these Mutas back. He takes out a medevac during his retreat. Man, Tarson got caught in the center of the map with unsieged tanks against Speedlings, Banelings, and Mutas, and you saw what happened there. It looks like, did we have a drop over there, or was that just a small push? I apologize for missing that. I do believe it was just a small scouting push, though. Yeah, it looks like you can see it just appeared to move in slightly. So I think it was just a Marine over there. We got a counterattack now. Speedlings coming on through. We'll be forcing the guys up the line. He's going to kill this before it turns into a planetary. It's unfortunate. Tarson cancels the planetary, lifts off, needs to repair that though, else he's going to lose it. And the fact that Nerchio has still continued to delay this expansion pretty much ensures his victory. I cannot see him losing here. I mean, look at the income. Unbelievable. Such in favor of Nerchio right now. Now we got Mutas moving towards this expansion. He's probably going to finish it off here. Attempted drop over there. Expansion gets dropped after one volley of glaive attack there from the Mutas. Tarson's like, all right, well, let's see what these Marines can do. Stims up. It's going to do some damage. Probably drop the expansion. Just kill off the queen. Who knows? But does it matter? I don't think so. Take a look at the resources lost. They're about even. It's the income that kills me, though. Nerchio's so far ahead. He's lost this expansion. We got a push coming across the map. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. Maybe Tarson will pull it out, win the game. But he shouldn't, because Nerchio has clearly been dominating ever since after that first push and his counterattack. Lost the expansion. Tarson just calls it GG. Why? He scanned and saw all those Spielings and Banelings. Realized how many mutas were in play. Realized this force cannot take that out. There you go. Game number 1 going to Nerchio. All right, my friends. Game number 1 goes to Nerchio. Very, very impressive play there by our Zerg player Nerchio. You know, he dealt with that early Marauder Hellion aggression, but after that, the game was just so much in his favor. Pretty much the entire time. Quite impressive Zerg play and counter response, and a great game number 1. We'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.